Lucy Hargreaves and Daniel Debow didn't lobby Ottawa, they forked it. Their volunteer group, Build Canada, mixed Canadian ingenuity and leverage AI to help drive change to build the Canada we all know is possible. So here to share what's next, please welcome Lucy and Daniel.
Okay, hello everybody.
Hey everyone, good morning, Toronto.
How y'all doing?
I'm Lucy.
I'm Daniel Debow. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for coming. Hey, bud.
Thanks for coming. And look, we're here to tell you a little bit more about what Build Canada is, where we're going, and how everyone in this room and watching online can help shape the future of this country.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. So let's start with something simple, a little crowd participation. Simple question. How many people here, if you're online, by the way, you can put your hand up too. How many people here would like Canada to be the most prosperous country in the entire world? The best place to build a business, best place to build your career, best place to make a life happen. Woo! Yeah, that's right. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, me too.
All right.
And guess what? So do most Canadians. So over 80% of Canadians want smarter rules and a more productive government so builders can build.
Right. So that's the mission of Build Canada, right? We want a more prosperous country. And we think right now is the time, partially because, as we all know, with AI, the entire world is changing, but also because the cavalry is not coming. We cannot just complain, and then ask government to fix things for us. Okay, you're builders, and that means that we have to do something ourselves, okay? Our country, we need builders who have agency, right? They think they have the power to make things change. We need people to go out and do cool shit. Yes, build incredible companies, highly successful ones that build jobs and prosperity, but we also need to get off of our heels and get engaged in our country's governance. At every level, we need builders who care, who bring what they know about the world to help build a better country, all right? We can do better, but we need builders to be involved.
Exactly. And look, we want every Canadian to see themselves as a builder. It's not just a title or something you might call yourself, but it's actually a mindset. We're Canadian, we build here, and we should be really proud of that.
Yeah, right. Being a builder is a mindset. But let's take a step back. We said we're going to talk about where we came from. So how did Build Canada start? Was this like some government edict that said you guys should all do this? No. It was a small group of people who had a simple idea. What if a small group of high agency people, what if a group that had access to the latest tools and technologies just started to do things, right? They didn't ask permission, they didn't wait forever, have a giant committee. What if we just go do stuff and see if we can bend the curve, change the trajectory, the conversation of our country?
And I sat around and I thought, what if we can make government spending actually understandable for everyday people?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I asked the question, what if we took the amazing ideas that I saw in like chat rooms of some of our country's best builders? What if we could take those ideas and turn them into actionable, specific policy memos? What if we could use AI to make those public, to chart the conversation, to spur debate and get people talking about what we need to do in Canada?
Yeah, so Daniel and I teamed up.
Right.
We leveraged AI tools, and with a very small handful of volunteers, we got to work.
Right, and it worked. In just a few short months, a very small team of volunteers shipped a lot. We shipped 30 policy memos, and I was just with a government minister yesterday. He was like, oh, I read that memo. We shipped 30 memos from Canada's top builders with bold ideas of how we could change. We shipped an AI-powered promise tracker built by one person, one amazing builder. We built a Canada Spends, an amazing program for government transparency. We shipped just a few weeks ago an AI-powered OKR tracker for the government. You can go online and see the metrics and measures that our ministers are taking in real time against the promises that they made. We've been busy.
We have been very busy. And you know what? It got noticed. Millions, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, millions of Canadians passionately engaged with all of these ideas that Daniel just shared. And both major parties at the federal level reached out to us. They wanted to learn more. And hey, look, I'm not saying it was us, but there's now a Build Canada Cabinet Committee. And the Build Canada Act just got passed last week.
Right.
So
Right.
I think we can say building Canada is part of the national agenda now.
It is part of the national agenda. It's also not a dirty word. It's not a bad thing to talk about growth. People want it. There's a huge consensus, and it's important that people step up and talk about it. Okay, the thesis we had was correct. A small group of people armed with the best tools that we have available, highly focused and motivated, can make a dent, can change the conversation. And that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, exactly. But here's what we didn't expect. The movement, the momentum, and really the message resonated. People wanted merch. We're actually launching our merch store officially later this week. Nice t-shirt. Entrepreneurs from many industries, not just the tech sector, reached out offering resources and support. And we even got outreach from public servants who were saying to us, you're onto something. You guys have to keep going with this. And the most incredible thing is that hundreds of people wanted to volunteer.
Yeah, this was the most amazing part. This was a side thing. Like, hey, let's see what happens. And it was overwhelming how many people from all walks of life, from different industries, not just tech, were reaching out and saying, what you said resonates with us. We read your paper. I heard you on TV. How can I get involved? What can we do to help build Canada in our town, in our province, in our area? And, this is a really big light bulb. The thing that we realized was that this desire already exists. There are networks of people, of builders out there who yearn for the message. They want to be part of a movement, right? And they are people who are ready to get involved and roll up their sleeves and do exactly what we did. And that's pretty amazing. The thing that a lot of them wanted and what we were giving them was a platform. They needed a simple platform where they could connect with other people, that they could be inspired, find projects. Often people are like, I don't know what to do, but what can I work on that will help? And so we thought that's probably pretty helpful. Also, a little push. A little push helps.
A little push, yeah. And so now we're thinking, what if Build Canada wasn't just a handful of volunteers? What if it was a nationwide builder movement? What would that look like? What if thousands of smart, technical, creative people were volunteering and building projects, not just at the federal level, but at local levels, municipal levels, provincial levels, and we're contributing code and content and contributing to civic action more generally? What would that look like?
Yeah, what would it look like if so many more people realized they can just go do things and they had the support to get it done? But there's another question, something maybe a little bit higher level, a little deeper, which is, what would it mean if being Canadian, part of our national ethos, part of our national story, part of our national identity was that being Canadian means to be a builder, right? It of course means that we are a sharing, caring nation, but we also get things done. It says on the back of the shirt, it says giver. What if Canada embraced that spirit and everybody understood that if we want a different country, we have to go giver. We have to go make it happen. What would that do to our politicians? What would it do to our politicians if they knew that there were people who supported the hard choices that need to get made in order to drive towards more prosperity, right? What would it do? Would it unlock the growth that we need? Would it help us get smarter policies at every level? If our country understood that being a builder is as much of being a Canadian as anything else that we do. And we think that's important.
And I think those are great questions. We think those are great questions, and we think it's worth finding out the answer.
Okay, so we told you a bit about what we did and what we learned. Now we're going to tell you about where we're going. These are the questions. We are going to announce today that we are scaling Build Canada up and across the entire country. Okay? But here's the thing. It's not just going to be us, the folks on the stage and a few volunteers. We need you. And we need you online. We need thousands of people. We need engineers, data scientists, builders, designers, entrepreneurs. We need economists. We need marketers. We need people who give a shit, okay, to step up and get involved at every level, provincial, federal, municipal. And that's what Build Canada is going to become, is going to be. We want to connect all of you together, tell you that what you're doing is important. We want to amplify the amazing projects that you work on. We want to help equip you to be successful all across the country.
And why is this important? It's because the future of this country is not written in Ottawa. It's written by people like you, people in this room, people who are listening today, people who step up, take initiative, and actually build the future that they want to live in.
Okay, so what does this look like in plain English? What can you take away? Well, let's start. Today, we are open sourcing all the projects that we worked on. So anyone can clone them, copy them, and start using them in different areas around the world. They can make them better. They can get involved. We are building community. We're building the Build Canada community across the country. We're going to do in-person and online activities so you can connect with other people who feel the same way. We are going to start funding projects that are amazing across the country. We think that's really important. So we're going to start scaling up all the things that we know work to make it possible for people like you to actually do something. We want you to share the playbooks. If something worked in Moncton, why doesn't it work in Victoria? If something worked in Ontario, can it work in Alberta? So that's what we want to do. We want you to take these ideas and make Build Canada part of your ethos in your town, in your campus, in your community. Let me make it even more tangible. This thing that you're at right now, there's no provincial city government that said, hey, Satish and Amit and everybody, you now need to go do Toronto Tech Week. Nope, that's not what happened. They realized, hey, there's a hole. We need to do this. No one is going to do it for us. We have to step up. And they did. But here's the thing. There are over 300 events happening in Toronto Tech Week. None of them, yeah, let's give it a hand. How does that happen? Toronto Tech is a platform. It's a way to build it up. And what they then did is they made it possible for hundreds of people to step up and take their passion and make it possible for you to have an event, and you're all going to enjoy it. So think about that scaled nationally all the time, happening everywhere.
Yeah, and fundamentally, it's about helping people who are already building cool stuff get recognized, get connected, and get amplified.
Okay, because what we've seen and what you all know is that once builders get energized, get recognized, they start collaborating, they start sharing, and inspire people, there's just no limit to how far we can go. There's no limit on how much we can push Canada to be the most prosperous nation, the thing that you all said you wanted at the top of this talk. Now, I want to say one thing that's really important. You know, this is a collaborative effort. The government is not a business. We can't try and run it like a business. The people in Build Canada, we don't have all the answers. In fact, one of the things people are confused about, they're like, oh, you have different policies. Yeah, because it's going to take lots of people getting engaged in different ways. We do not want to control this movement. We want to light a fire under the movement and give you energy to make it happen. It is going to be up to you. Oh, wait, you have some news for us today, don't you?
I do. So today, I'm thrilled to share that I'm going to be stepping up as Build Canada's new CEO. I'm all in on this. I've told Daniel I'm leaving my other job. This is going to be a full-time thing for me. And most importantly, we have an incredible team who is also stepping up along with me. Volunteers who will now be taking on roles, who have been there with us from the start, and I would be remiss if I didn't give them a massive shout out here. Melody Kuo, Ben Perry, Andrew Potter, and Brendan Samek. Incredible, incredible individuals who are really at the heart of Build Canada. But here's the thing. We need you. We need you to make this work, and we need you to step up and join us and work with us on this as we move forward in the next few months.
Okay, I love how everyone here has already got their cameras up, okay? Because that's the next step. If you're in marketing, here's our call to action, okay? Take out your phone and point it at the QR code, or just go to buildcanada.com and sign up. Sign up for a weekly newsletter that's going to let you know what's going on in Build Canada and also help educate you on what's happening around the country in the policies that matter to making us a more prosperous nation. But you're also going to start getting access to projects that are starting and spinning up. And maybe you find something that you want to volunteer, or maybe you have an idea that you're like, I think people should do this. I need to find a data scientist who can help me on it. We're going to make that possible. If that idea takes off, we're going to try and help scale it across the country. Okay? So remember, the cavalry is not coming. If you want that prosperous nation, you need to step up, sign up, and get fired up about your own thing and help make our country amazing. Okay.
I'll end off here. High agency people who are pointed at a mission using modern tools can win. I am so confident about that. And I know that the people in this room, you can make Canada the most prosperous country on earth.
Absolutely. Okay, let's build together. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Tech Week.
Thank you.